Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for coming to another video. Let's go through some loose banknotes, see if we find anything worth more than face value or is at least collectible. If you haven't been to my channel before, thanks for visiting. Hopefully you like it and subscribe to the channel. I go through banknotes, coins, and collectibles like trading cards, comic books, vinyls. I'm into pretty much, I kind of joke around with people, if it could be collected, I collect it. But anyway, let's get right to it with this Series 2017A $20 note. It's actually in really good condition. I generally look for issues with ink, print, the serial numbers for fancy serial numbers. This one's close to a date note, being March, and then of course there's not 70, but close to a date note. So if it was like 0301, March 1st, 1939, that would have been really neat. I like to keep a lookout for historically important dates. Pretty clean back to this note, a little bit of stray inking here and here, but nothing to hold on to. And let's flop these around. $5 note, Series 2013. Not much difference between the early 2000s and current $5 notes graphically. They did do a redesign on a few different denominations of U.S. Federal Reserve notes in the early 2000s up until about 2007. This Series 2013 note would be one of them. In the early 2000s, they redesigned fives. There's nothing in the serial number. No shifts in the seals or the serial numbers. Nothing jumping out on the front there. And nothing on the back. Let me knock over a bunch of stuff real quick. Kind of cool serial number with the repeated sixes in there and fives. Kind of cool, 6869, but doesn't have any enough repetition for me or a pattern to make it a fancy serial number, which is going to add some value generally to the face value of $5 in this case. Nothing on the back. And let me tidy these up for a second here. Kind of just pull them out of my wallet, so sorry about that. There we go. Cool repetition of 2s and 5s, but once again, not in a really decent enough fancy serial number for me to hold on to. Series 2017A $10 note. Everything else seems to be printed fine on there. There's no shifts. The margins seem fine around the note. Back of the note, a couple creases folded up for being put in a wallet by somebody in one of the smaller pockets. Nothing too crazy on that. Series 2013 $10 note. So you can see that there's no difference graphically. They redesigned $10 Federal Reserve notes in the early 2000s as well. This one has a standard serial number. Other areas to check out is like around where they do the color changing ink by the 10 and the little Liberty torch. Sometimes you'll get some kind of funky stuff going on there. But it's a pretty precise process when they print that portion of the note. You know, some things are intaglio, some things are printed on the note or in it. And it's like a 3-phase printing process for U.S. currency, so it is regulated, but there's lots of errors. Back of the note's kind of beat up in relation to the front. Another thing is you'll get some blurring, or I'm sorry, some excess ink around these areas where the trees are. Unless it's really crucial, I wouldn't hold on to it. Series 2017 $1 note. Nothing in the serial number, a little bit wrinkled up from probably getting wet in the rain or a drink spilled on it or something. Nothing jumping out the back. Now, in relation to the other notes, $1 and $2 notes have not undergone any graphics changes in a long time, so nothing to talk about there. Not since the 50s. They added In God We Trust at that point, but that was about it. We have the Great Seal on the right and left of the note. I like to look around the, if I can get the note, there we go. I like to look around the base of the pyramid where it has the Roman numerals for 1776 and around the eye there. See if I can get it to focus a little better there. And there we go. Sometimes you'll get some blurring of ink, but not in this case. And a little bit of repetition on this 5. It's actually a trinary note, so that's kind of neat. 0s, 2s. No, I'm sorry. It's a quad note. 0, 2, 8s, and 5s, but then we're kind of reaching. Trinaries, of course, is the same 3 digits repeated. This one, if it would have been in a pattern, despite being 4 or more digits, same digits in the serial number, it would have been kind of neat. But in this case, not collectible, but kind of cool. Something that, like, almost was. Back of the note, pretty clear. Nothing jumping out at me here. I like to look down here at these annotations to see if anything's kind of off-printed. Moving on to the next. Nice duct tape dollar. So this serial number is actually covered up, obviously. Looking off the other one, we have close to a broken ladder, but we would need a couple different digits differently. Series 2013 $1 note, obviously super beat up, but super usable. Back of the note, I have no idea what happened to this thing. Look, I don't even know what that is. Oh, it's just missing. Oh, it's folded over. Okay, so it's actually, they just didn't tape it very well, but close enough, right? So I can still go get a drink with this from Walmart or whatever. But aside from that, this note is not collectible. Nothing's jumping out as totally off. Very, very close note to the previous one we had just a second ago. Let's grab that. Totally different notes. Really, really, really close serial numbers. Look at that. Anyway, I just think that's neat. Really beat up $1 note, Series 2017. Definitely has been wet at some point and all wrinkled up. That's what happens to these notes once they get pretty much, like, completely drenched. So, nothing else jumping out, but it's really hard to tell on this due to all the damage. Nice little star note. Love me some star notes. Almost could have been really cool if it was a date note or birthday note at March 27th in like 1950 or something like that. Little bit of an odometer note with the 61 on the end where it's kind of sitting higher than the rest of the digits. Saying that's pretty good. Star notes are really awesome. I love me star notes. You know, star notes are replacement notes. Something happened during production. They replace it. They annotate that with a star. This one's really, really beat up. It also doesn't have any sort of fancy serial number, but I'm going to hold on to it for right now. It'll probably make its way back into circulation, though, since it's not extra special or anything, but really neat. Last but not least, another, wow, really good repetition of 5s there, 7s. Would have been nice to have 5, 5, 7, 7, and then all 5s. Then it would have been, I would have kept that for sure. Really cool looking note though, neat serial number, but nothing collectible, although really good with the repetition. In facts we trust. I like it. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm keeping it. In facts we trust. I don't know why, I guess somebody wanted to get a little artistic with the back of the note. I normally hate writing on notes, but I'll hold on to that one because it's kind of goofy. What's the other thing we held on to? The last 2 notes, essentially, of the bill search. A nice star note, and then a kind of repeater note with a little bit of artistic flair on the back. Let me know what you think about this bill search, what I came across. Let me know what you've come across in your coin and bill searches in the comments below. Thank you so much for coming to the video. Hit subscribe if you love money like I do. I will see you there in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.